All right, now we got everything ready to roll. Hope you did everything on there. We're not going to do anything just yet. We're not going to discuss them. Just go ahead and hang on to them. You put your name on top of them and everything like that. Excellent. Excellent. All right, now comes PowerPoint. Okay, you're going to get a little bit more of a gist and more understanding of what we just discussed. And you're going to find out who these guys are, Milosevic, Tito, and Kardzic. So we're going to find a little bit more. So right there is nice little segment of what it entailed. The war in Bosnia and Herzegovina, 1992 to 1995. So some of the little things that we're going to go over in the table of contents, we're going to talk about the introduction, Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, the breakup of Yugoslavia, the rise of nationalism in Serbia, some of the elections, independence that they gained, the beginning of the Bosnian War, the displacement of the people, ethnic cleansing, we talked about that again, key word, ethnic cleansing. Civil victims, the role of the UN and NATO, again, another key word. The siege of Sarajevo, surviving in Sarajevo, an act of defiance, a famous photo, of Mila Vrinosevic. You'll find out it's a pretty good little clip. You'll get some interesting fact on that one. A failed peace proposal, the NATO intervention, the fall of Srebrenica, the genocide of Srebrenica, excavations and commemoration, Dayton Peace Agreement, and the effects of war. So I'm just going to kind of give you a little understanding of what's going on here. That's what we're going to discuss, and that's what you're going to see in the table, in the actual presentation. So let's go ahead and let's begin this sucker. Okay, you see some of these kids here, Bosnian kids playing during the war. They don't have actual weapons. They're all made out of cardboard and things like that, wood and things like that. So they would probably be highly targeted if that was the case. So the Bosnian War began in 1992 and lasted until 1995. The war led to the deaths of, what did I say earlier? Do you remember? 100,000 civilians and soldiers. With millions of civilians displaced, the bloody war had seen some of the worst atrocities since World War II. So again, that was World War II. And we talked about Hitler, right? Good. Who's that right there? It's Tito. What did we do? We discussed him. So there's the map of Yugoslavia. There he is right there. Kind of smoking a cigarette, whatever, whatnot, and acting cool like that. All right. So the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia was formed at the end of World War II, comprised of Bosnia, Serbia, Montenegro, Croatia, Slovenia, and Macedonia. Again, what we discussed with numerous ethnic groups within those areas. Okay?
So it's multi-ethnic.
Yeah, there you go. There's your word, multi-ethnic. This communist country was held together by its leader, Josip Broz Tito. Yep, we talked about him again. Tito's efforts to ensure that no ethnic group dominated the country, banning political mobilization, and seeking to create a unified Yugoslavia. So that's what he was trying to do. But unfortunately, the man died in 1980. And when did the war break out? When did we talk about that earlier?
92.
91, 92. Yeah, 92. Good job. Trying to throw you off. All right, here we go. The breakup of Yugoslavia. After Tito's death in 1980, the order he imposed began to unravel. So unravel, what's that mean? Hey, coming undone?
Fall apart.
Yep, very good. The 1980s rapid decline in Yugoslav economy led to widespread public dissatisfaction with the political system. Various ethnic groups and republics inside Yugoslavia sought independence. So all those things that you mapped out, those capitals, there they are right there again. I hope you put them in the right spot. All right, who are these guys? You read it. It's Milosevic and Kardzic. Yeah, we're talking about bad dudes right now. Okay. Milosevic rose to power in 1987. He was creating conflict between the Serbians, Croats, and the Muslim Bosniaks. again, dividing. Using old grudges, stirring up national emotions, and inciting dreams of greater Serbia, a country made up of only Serbians, Milosevic succeeded in rallying support for himself. Sounds kind of familiar. Yep. Okay, some of the first elections, as it does, breaks down where the red section is the Serbs, the blue is the Croats, and the green are the Bosniaks. So this is the breakdown, how it occurred. In 1991, Bosnia and Herzegovina had a population of 4 million, comprised of three main ethnic groups: Bosnian Muslim, 44%, Serbian, 31%, and Croat, 17%, as well as Yugoslav, which is 8%. So as we can see, the Bosnian Muslims were the biggest population. When the elections were held in Bosnia and Herzegovina in December, new parties representing the three national communists gained seats in a rough proportion to the population, sort of like what we do with the House of Representatives and things of that sort. Growing tensions both inside and outside of Bosnia and Herzegovina, however, made cooperation with the Serb Democratic Party, led by Radovan Karadzic, again, there we go, increased the difficulties. So where are we kind of seeing that they're trying to split this up? Okay, the big old brown arrow pointing to the main player right there, Bosnia and Herzegovina. April 1992, the government of Bosnia declared an independence from Yugoslavia. And you should already know it because it was on your map. Of the nearly 2/3 of the electorate vote, almost all voted for independence. So with Bosnian President Izetbegovic, yes, officially proclaimed on March 3rd, 1992. So they became independent. All right, let's get into the war. Now this is where it gets kind of hairy and things of that sort. So we're gonna see what's going on in the sense of possible ethnic cleansing. All right, so the war officially started in April 1992. 2 days after the European community and the United States recognized Bosnia's independence, Serbian forces, accompanied by Bosnian Serbs, attempted to ethnically cleanse the territory of Bosnian Croats. What did we talk about ethnic cleansing?
Killing.
Killing, yeah, going after them. And there's a detention camp. Oh, got it. All right, the Serbs wished to remain part of the Yugoslav and create a national of Serbians. Serbia, under Slobodan Milosevic's leadership, invaded the claim that they were there to free fellow Serbian Orthodox Christians living in Bosnia. Right there. They're getting ready to begin this. All right, so they were forced displaced, meaning that these people were in their own area, their own homes. Now they're being forced out of their areas, just due to the fact that that's what they were trying to do. Ethnic tensions were brought to the forefront. People who had lived peacefully for years, neighbors, turned against each other and took up arms. That's what happens in a civil war. We all know that because we've studied our own personal civil war of the United States. It's brother against brother, family against family, and whatnot. So right there, the number of refugees right there are displaced. As you can see, the Bosnians, there was 1.27 million, about 63% of the group. Croats, about 490,000, 67% of the group that had been displaced. And the Serbians, 540,000, about 39% of their group were displaced. So at the beginning of 1991, political upheavals in the Balkans displaced about 2.7 million people by the mid-1992, which over 700,000 sought asylum in European countries. So basically what they did is they left and went into other European countries that we can see on that map back there. All right, here comes the ethnic cleansing. We talked about it, okay? As you can see, it's one big mass grave right there. It says bodies of the people that were killed in 1993 around Visez, Bosnia and Herzegovina during the Bosnian conflict. So as we can see, it's getting pretty hairy. So let's go back and let's read a little bit of this. The methods used during the Bosnian ethnic cleansing campaigns included murder, torture, arbitrary arrest, and detention. again, detention. Extrajudicial executions, rape, confinement of people, population of ghetto areas, forceful removal, displacement, expulsion, a whole slew of things. Okay, we can continue to go on, but you know what does this remind us again? Of World War II and the Jews and Hitler, where they were rounded up from all areas throughout Europe and basically murdered. So this is what's going on here as well. Okay, here's a man who's supporting his a woman. I don't know if it's his wife or whatnot. She was shelled. She was badly injured from a mortar shell. So he's just trying to help out his fellow countryman. By the end of the war, approximately 55,000 civilians were murdered.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. Just think, all right, so in proximity to 55,000, so what city could you kind of relate to 55,000 people in the state of Indiana?
Anderson.
Is Anderson that big?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the entire town of Anderson is completely wiped out. No longer. People are gone. So estimated over 600 camps and detention centers existed in Bosnia during the war. 600 detention centers. That's crazy. It's like basically, again, World War II. I got to go back and we talked about World War II and how the concentration camps throughout the entire Europe. Okay, the role of UN and NATO, okay? What was that we kind of talked about again? Hotel
Rwanda.
There we go. And what were they in there, those guys and stuff like that with the blue helmets?
The UN peacekeepers.
There we go. All right. So right here, they attempted to mediate. The United Nations refused to intervene at this time, aside providing limited troops and convoys to humanitarian aid. So basically, they're saying, you know what, we're just going to kind of let this roll for now. Peacekeepers do not have any capabilities to truly protect the people. So unfortunately, peacekeepers are designed to keep the peace, but with what? Yes, they have weapons, they have military vehicles, but technically they're peacekeepers. They are not there to protect with weapons. They're there to protect the people, but they have no methods or means to do that. So basically, Sarajevo eventually fell under Serb control, meaning that you'll find out what's going on with Sarajevo here in a minute. So in this picture, what do you got? You got some Dutch UN peacekeepers that are just kind of keeping an eye on refugees in Srebrenica. Just kind of hanging out, just keeping an eye on them. All right. Let's do this. Uh-oh. Don't tell me it froze again. Oh, look at that. There we go.
The computers don't like anyone today.
No, they don't. So, right now, we're waiting for Mr. Circle here. Any questions so far of what's going on? We kind of see a pattern, things like that, how it's kind of leading up to the whole thing of the atrocities and the genocide.
Yeah.